All right, we got Big Ev here from Slurp TCG, and we have who?
I'm Russ Chizek.
Russ Chizek. And what did you do at the, what regional was it?
I got top 8 at the Hartford Regional.
Hartford Regional.
Yes,
what were you
sir.
playing?
I was playing Gimmick Puppet.
Gimmick Puppet. All right,
sir.
let's see what's going on.
All right, cool. So we are going to we'll start with the main deck monsters. Right, we got 3 Rouge Doll or Bloody Doll if you're nasty. We got 3 little guys, little soldiers. Right, these are your 2 main starters here. We got 2 Terror Baby. This is the first unfair card. Makes it so your opponents can't respond and shares an effect with Mathematic Diameter. Shouts out Diameter. We got 2 Bisque Doll. This is the second unfair card. Makes your guys untargetable. You just draw it a lot. It hangs out in your hand, and sometimes it's like really cool. We got 1 Dreary Doll. I didn't get the Lost Ark because I forgot to get it at the local on Friday. And then we got 1 Cow, who is constantly in your hand, constantly wherever you want him to be. And then the other 2 monsters that I played are arguably the best 2 monsters in the game. We got Cyframe Gear Gamma and Cyframe Driver.
Yeah, so, I'm aware of his work.
Yeah, you've seen him before. Yeah, so those guys are pretty cool. That's all the monsters in the deck. No Horus monsters. I'm not a fan of them. I don't think the Horus cards are good in this. I tried it a bunch. I don't like it. I was really disappointed that every list that did well so far played Horus cards. But that's just, sometimes it is what it is. So for spells, we got the next truly unfair card, the field spell, completely custom card. People read this like 6 times, and then they still don't understand that my monsters are just unaffected unless you have XYZ monsters on your board. Thankfully, did not see any Exo Sisters yesterday. Exo Sister Martha is my enemy. And then here's the terraforming, obviously, because the field spell is an FTK by itself, which is pretty cool. The next 3 cards are 3 Condolence Puppet. This is another card that people still, for some reason, didn't read. This is a Foolish Burial for 1 on your turn 0. If your opponent has any extra deck monsters, for each extra deck monster, you get the Foolish and additional Puppet. Sometimes you just get to send every name in the deck, and you have access to everything. It's completely insane. We have 2 of the Chaos Rank Up spell, which is necessary for the combo. This is probably the most important card in your deck. You definitely have to play 2. If you play 1 and you draw it, your rank 8 can't resolve properly, which screws up your combo. I don't think you'd ever play 3, but I just feel like you need to play 2. If you draw both, you're also kind of sick, but, whatever. If you open 1, though, it's pretty sweet, because if they stop you from getting it, then you can punish that already have it. Pretty cool. And then that's as far as, like, the engine spells go. For non-engine, in the main deck, I played 3 Droplet. I just think, in general, this deck is actually really good at going second. If you have Droplet, obviously everything is kind of just free. If your opponent makes a board, you can really do a lot with this. It's super helpful. We have a Called By for obvious reasons. I guess Foolish is also kind of part of the engine. I probably should have said that. So Condolence Puppet is Foolish for as many as you want. Foolish Burial just kind of fixes things. If you need an extender, you need another body, you need to... it's also 1 card starter. You can send Rouge Doll to the graveyard. She has herself back, so that's pretty cool. And then we got 2 Thrusts, 1 Talent. Originally we were playing, at one point we were actually just playing 3 and 3 and then just cutting down on stuff. Just because there's still a lot of decks that are just like not hand trapping you, so you get to FTK anyway and then these cards end up being dead. Going second, they're really crazy. One thing I really like that I haven't seen other people do, and I'm sure people know, is that this deck can give your opponent a monster really easily, either with the field spell or the XYZs. So you can give them a monster, and if they turn on Thrust that turn, you just get to add the card to your hand and keep playing. And you can even add Terraforming, add field spell. It's completely nuts. And then we got a lot of trap cards in the main deck, baby.
Nice.
Yeah. So this weekend we changed the deck up from the Nats deck that you may have seen from the prior best video on this channel, Julian Lipoff's Nats Day 2 video. Would definitely recommend checking it out. It's very cool. Shout out to Julian. We put 3 Imperm in the deck. We figured just wanted to be safe, have some kind of interaction that doesn't turn on talents, and even if you hold it for your turn, going second, sometimes it's just enough to hit whatever the most problematic monster is on board. So we threw those bad boys in there. We also are just main decking 3 Skill Drain. What happens when you can't FTK, you ask me? Well, we will set a floodgate, and we will pray our opponent doesn't have Lightning Storm. And if they have Lightning Storm, we'll simply go to the next game. It's not a problem. And so if we don't draw into the Skill Drain, during our combo, which lets us draw multiple cards, maybe we'll draw Gozen Match, and if not, maybe we'll draw Rivalry, and hopefully they'll work. Obviously, these are really bad against a whole bunch of decks, but sometimes you just get you there. I won a game because I went second, flipped a Gozen Match, and then Fallen of Albaz just couldn't resolve. It wasn't legal. Pretty cool. And then the last trap in the main deck is Service Puppet Play. This is searchable by the rank 9. It's a new trap. It's a snatch deal for as many Gimmick Puppet exercisees as you have, which is sometimes just enough to win because you just take your opponent's card and then they can't do anything that's yours. Or the real wombo combo, the real secret juice is having this and opening this and then taking 2 non-dark monsters, flipping goes and match, and it's very, very rude. So everything the deck focus here is to try to be as unfair as possible because look at the format that we're playing in, right? So and we'll do the extra deck next. So this is pretty cool. I had shout out to my opponent on Kashtira, really nice guy. He left a unicorn on board thinking he was going to rip the extra deck for any value, and then immediately saw that we just simply have 2 of the new rank 8. Wait, which one is this one? This is Fanta 6 Maki Nix, and then 2 of the new rank 9 Fanatics Maki Nix. Are they both Maki Nix? Anyway, either way, yeah, that's their names. It's the character from the Zexel's anime, like as a Gimmick Puppet character, I think. That's that's that.
I love anime.
Yeah, same. So these are the 2 new cards. This guy gets you the rank up spell, an additional normal summon. He then reborns himself from the graveyard and gets you the rank up spell again on 1 rank 8, which is completely absurd. This guy gets you the trap. He can also pop cards and give your opponent monsters. He's like part of your combo, and sometimes he's an end board piece. It kind of depends, but it's just real cool. These guys rock. So we got 2 of each of those guys. We got probably one of the more important guys is just 3 copies of number 40, Giving Puppet of Strings. This guy puts a string counter on every monster on the board, and then your opponent asks, what do the string counters do? And the only reasonable answer is nothing right now. Until you rank it up into 3 copies of C40, Giving Puppet of Dark Strings. So this is your main sort of FTK piece. This guy nukes the board if the monsters have a string counter, burns your opponent for the highest original attack, and then you draw a card. That's not once per turn. It's also mandatory when it's special summoned, so it doesn't need to be XYZ summoned. You can reborn it from the graveyard and do it. That's part of the combo as well. So you just get to do this as many times as possible, and then people kind of like look at you dumbfounded when you just keep summoning them. It also has 3,300 attacks, so if you flip Skill Drain, you have this on board. There's not that many monsters that are reasonably going to just be able to beat over it, which is cool. From there, we have 2 copies of the Gimmick Puppet Chimera Doll. This is a really important combo piece. Searches a guy, can special summon a guy, locks you into XYZs for the rest of the turn. Don't let anyone ever summon more than 1 of these on the same turn against you. That is not legal. Important there. And then for the 1-ofs, we got 1 of the rank 4 Gimmick Puppet Gigantes doll. This card is really only important because you have to reveal a rank 4 with Rouge doll to summon out the little soldiers from your deck. I saw a video where another player said you never make this card, and I was thinking to myself, yeah, you do all the time. And then I realized we're not playing Machine Dupe anymore. If anyone wants to try it, put Machine Dupe in the Gimmick Puppet deck. Please. It rules so much. Machine Dupe your little soldiers, make this guy, tribute them off, take 2 of your opponent's monsters, and then overlay them to keep playing. It rules when you do that. And then we have number 15, Giant Grinder. Main phase 1, pops and burns. And then we have his friend, Giant Hunter. Who, yeah, he also pops and burns. He can out any card on the field. I popped a Runic Fountain with this, which felt kind of good. So that's kind of cool. And that's the extra deck. They're all Gimmick Puppet monsters. There's no... I've seen other stuff. We tried other stuff too. I just think you just go all Gimmick Puppet and it rocks. And for the side deck, we got 3 of this format's most important card. I got Dogwooded immediately game 2, round 1. I then also had Dogwood after that. There were so many Dogwoods thrown around yesterday. I absolutely couldn't believe it. I'm not, I don't really blame anyone at this point. You have to be able to save yourself from this. You have to be able to save yourself from Tempai. Sometimes it's just good. It's really unfair, really stupid. Although, don't just shotgun this. Your opponent might pass the turn, and then you won't be able to kill them, and then you'll lose. So, yeah, kind of dumb. It feels really lame to just gain life points, but that's, I guess, where we're at. Then the rest of the sideboard is all just trying to become extremely unfair. We have 3 Regeki. We're just trying to go second and just do a lot of damage. We got the Duster. We got Double Storm. We have Triple Evenly. And then to hopefully draw into these cards, we got the Mulch Army. I never drew Mulch Army yesterday. Or I think I drew it like once and it ended up not mattering. And that was it. It was like against Runic Stun. Everything else was fine. You know, you got to draw one of these. Sometimes you don't see the one that you need. Like against the stun deck, I kept drawing Regekis because I couldn't get enough cards out of my deck that didn't do anything against Runic Stun. Somehow ended up winning anyway, but whatever. So anyway, that's the deck.
All right. Any shout outs, Russ?
It's shout outs. Oh my god, I'm gonna forget all of them already immediately. First off, shout outs Julian, my puppet brother. Shout outs to Kevy, my almost puppet brother who's a coward. And then thirdly, shout outs Benner. He was our almost puppet brother who also backed out of playing puppet, but I love all my puppeteers, so that's cool. Shout outs Big Ed for filming this. Shout outs to Chris. Everybody check out Kyoukai. Kyoukai rocks. Shout outs to EB Gaming, shout outs to IHC, shout outs to the Four Pillars, shout outs to Gage and Senko for the Euro Common Core, hell yeah. Shout outs to Mammals Gaming and Steven, and shout outs to Jeremy for topping with me yesterday. Shout outs to my wife for being awesome. Shout outs to my dog. Shout outs to Sabrina Carpenter's new album, Short and Sweet, that came out on Friday. It freaking rocks. And yeah, I guess that's it. If I miss anybody, I'm really sorry. I don't know. Shout outs to everybody that I like and everybody that gave smooches to at the regional.
All right, we'll see you in the next video.
Peace.